Welcome to the Portuguese Collective, Melissa Silva and Michael Pastor, and they are from the Azores Band of Escalon.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Of course. So we have obviously exciting news to share, which is the Filarmonica Festival that is happening on November 1st in Oakdale, California. And it is the 20th anniversary of the Filarmonica Festival, like Festa.
Mhm, mhm.
There are 11 confirmed bands. And is that a big number for you guys? 11, is that good in attendance?
So it's probably the largest we've had since COVID. I think we've kind of been around like 8 or 9. So we're really excited. We're going to see some Philharmonicas coming back into the scene that we haven't seen at a festival. For example, like Portuguese Band of San Jose, PBSJ. This is their first time back since COVID. So we're really
Wow.
excited to have them.
That's amazing. Well, the marketing has been amazing, Melissa. I know that you're a the brainstorm behind that, and it's been amazing to see so much representation for the Philharmonica world. We're out there filming a little bit more, and my business partner Andre, who does the videography, his daughter marches, so he had shown me some video that he had taken of you guys, and I'll have to send it to you guys actually. I was like, check out this video that I did because he's always showing me his gadgets. And it was you guys. And I was like, is that Azores Band of Escalon? And he's like, yeah. I was like, they are like robotic almost. And it was so mesmerizing to watch that. And I watched the whole thing and I was like, wow, they are so sharp. It almost mesmerized it mesmerized me to watch the unison of all of it. Like, you guys are truly such a great representation of a Philharmonica in the Portuguese community, how you can tell how seriously you take it, and, it just really shows in your presence, and we've seen you guys all over the place in this past year for sure. You guys performed at the Portuguese Heritage Night, and then you guys had a huge representation at Battle of Bifunish. Melissa, you were a judge at Battle of the Bifunish.
Yeah.
And you guys also, had your own vendor booth selling food as well.
Yeah.
So you guys have a huge group. How many members are in your group?
So we are a 75 member group, primarily Portuguese Americans. However, we do have quite a diverse group, kind of going into where we are now in California. We have musicians from Peru, we
Wow,
have musicians from Mexico. So we're really lucky that we've integrated with other like-minded cultures and that we can really
absolutely.
celebrate music together because music
Absolutely.
does transcend through all cultures.
And my next question was going to be, how has the band survived through, honestly, the lack of participation that some of the younger generation wants in the Philharmonicas? And I guess that's it, branching out and maybe getting high schools involved and things like that.
So we're really lucky. We have quite a bit of music teachers within our organization, within our musician group, but we're really lucky because our group is really like a family. We kind of say that all the time, but we like to spend time with each other. We like to see each other. So in turn, you see us all together a lot. And I think that also speaks for why people are still in the organization and why they keep coming back. I'm all about the hanging out and that
Yeah,
the social aspect of the band. And Mike
absolutely.
is really more into the music. And if we play well, then it transcends through a good night of all of us hanging out and
It's
yeah.
a good balance.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what do you feel like we'll see in like 50 years with these Philharmonicas? Do you feel like this will outlive the test of time?
I don't wanna speak for everyone, but I think if we can continue to diversify, I think if other Philharmonicas are willing to bring in non-Portuguese musicians or
Absolutely.
then I think that we can survive. I think music's a huge part of a lot of people's lives, and luckily with events like the festival, this Philharmonicas, it helps people see what we can do, and it also gives us relationships with other Philharmonicas, which makes it fun when we see them at festas because we perform a lot every
Yeah.
Sunday, pretty much all summer. And those festas can drag out, but with other Philharmonicas there, the first time you're going to see someone after a while, it's always fun.
I know. I truly say you guys really are the hardest working out of all of the organizations because along with the queens, you guys are there every Sunday, and
Yeah.
what is a Festa Santo without the Filarmonica? What
Yeah.
is a parada without the Filarmonicas? It is not, I mean, a Bud Light can't compare, and even with the Bud Lights, we still have some of the Filarmonicas there as well to help with that, and it truly is such a beautiful tradition, and I'm so happy that we're able to showcase it in a bigger light, especially with it being the 20th year anniversary. I think a lot of other groups haven't been as fortunate as the Azores Band of Escalon, and I think they've struggled a lot after COVID. So having something like magnified, hey, we're all still here, reach out to your local Philharmonica and get in there. You touched base, Melissa, on you guys being able to teach, and I learned that not all bands do that.
Yeah. We're really, really lucky. Mike actually could probably touch more on that. We spearhead a music program in the summer, and he is actually the program director for it.
Yeah, I think COVID hit a lot of the Philharmonicas pretty pretty hard. We had a lot of performances, gigs coming up that we had planned. Our band in particular, we had a trip to the Azores that unfortunately was canceled, and other people were in similar situations. But during that time, a lot of people had time to think, sit at home, and there was a lot of discussions going on about the Philharmonicas, and students were having issues attending school virtually. And I think one aspect of that that really, really hurt those students was music education. So during that time, playing a wind instrument when you have an airborne virus was really difficult,
Yeah.
right? There's little tricks, things you have to take into consideration, caution. Teaching or learning virtually, especially for
Mhm.
students who are just picking up an instrument, it can be very difficult to teach them how to position your mouth, your embouchure, how to angle the instrument, things like that. So we had a few volunteers, including myself, within the organization, and we tried to get one-on-one lessons with some of our younger musicians who are still in the early stages of their musical journeys to try to get them up to speed. And a lot of those students or musicians are still playing in our group today.
Mhm.
Wow.
And that sort of evolved into rekindling and bringing back our music lessons program that we do in the summer. So we started that 2 years ago, completely free of charge to the public. You don't have to be Portuguese to join. You don't have to play an instrument. Just show up with an instrument or a pair of drumsticks. We started that music program, and we just finished ours last year, and the students really seem to enjoy it. And I think it's reinvigorated a lot of people, especially some of the older musicians, some of the founding musicians who
Mhm.
go there and they see their grandkids
Yeah.
playing
They have to
alongside
be
the
so
band.
proud
Yeah. It's
of
always
of
really
how.
funny.
Yeah,
It's
go
always
ahead.
really funny because they, sit outside, so the musicians or the students are learning, and then you see all of their grandpas or avós that, were founding members of our band. They're sitting there just watching them, and you're like, "Oh, if that's not pressure, I don't know what is."
Wow. That kinda gave me goosebumps because there is just those old timers that really have that, like, respect for the band and that just hold it up to such a high regard, so it has to be, yeah, be the pressure to just, like, make them proud, really, and just to show them that you love it just as much as well. Again, there's just so much history and tradition to the Philharmonicas, to those people, so now it's been going strong, the school's been going strong in the summers?
Yeah, I think this last summer we had, I think about 25 participants more or less, and then we finished the program off with a joint concert with what we'll call the senior band, the
It's
Azores Band of
us.
Escalon, and then the junior band, which are the younger musicians.
Well, congratulations on that. Do you feel
Mhm.
like most of your members are passed down members where it's like, here's the next generation continuing on with the band?
Yeah, I think there's obviously a large core of our group that are Portuguese American, have their parents or cousins, aunts, uncles that have played in the band or march or been on the board to some capacity. But then, as Melissa said, we do have a lot of music educators within our group as well, and including our conductor, our mesh
Mhm.
Terry. And I think that's a different avenue that Terry's kind of carved out, and can be a good model for some groups, to bring in young musicians who have that passion, and then it's a matter of adapting within the culture community.
Is there an age requirement to start learning music?
Not necessarily. I mean, in our junior band program, I think the age we had about 10 years old, maybe. Ideally, somewhere around where they're going to start music in school. And then for the main band or the senior band, typically around high school, I would say.
We did have a student this year, I think she's younger than that, and she plays alto saxophone, which is what I play, and the instrument was bigger than her, and she was still killing it, so it's really cute to
Oh.
see.
That is so awesome to hear. The bands, I think everything in the community is starting to slowly grow. I think there's some, I don't know, some type of spark that people are starting to have to regain it. And I think it is a lot of our generation is starting to have kids, and we remember how much we loved growing up in it. And we're like, oh, I don't want my kids to miss out on the family traditions. Like you said, we're one big family. I'm sure people have married and like met and all of that stuff. The same thing happened in when I was in the folklore world. It just becomes a part of your life, and you do become a big family. You're together every Sunday. That's for sure. So how does the like Portuguese events translate to the people that are not Portuguese in the band? Do
Well, they
you
tend
guys
to
have to explain, like, this is the significance of what you're playing at, and this is what it means to these people?
well, I think the first focus is and they love the food. That
Yes.
tends to be the general statement. All of our kitchen ladies love the non-Portuguese people in our band because they love all the food that we don't even eat. And I think that they know when we're playing like a procession, for example,
Yeah.
that's a little bit more. Harry does a really good job in explaining things to non-Portuguese, even some of like Portuguese Americans. We are learning from them too. Recently, we just played at the Thornton bullfights, and he kind of explains what's happening and what the steps are. So it's really nice that we have a mesh who's grown up in the Filarmonica world. His dad and his uncle were founding members of the Azores Band of Escalon. So he really knows a lot of the ins and outs that he learned from them. And it's nice that it kind of gives us a, a bond with, the non-Portuguese musicians in our band, because then we're also learning too. It's not like we know some of that stuff before.
And I think sharing
Uh-huh.
that part of it probably makes everyone just in their feels, right? Music is something that transcends from within. So now I feel they'll probably be even more connected to the bullfights and to the paradas and things like that, understanding like this is such a rooted heritage thing. So thank you for teaching music, because I in my head, I just thought every Philharmonica taught their, musicians. You guys born and raised, like, in the band, or is this something that kind of dropped in your lap?
So I was recruited in the band when I was in high school. I'm on my 20th year now. I don't know how it happened. I was recruited at a festa. My dad is in the conjunct world, so they found out that he had a daughter who played an instrument, and I was snatched up really quickly. And I didn't think that, our first rehearsal, I didn't think that I was going to be a long-term thing. And here we are 20 years later. In fact, you were mentioning, I met my husband in the band. I would have never met him before that because he was a student of Terry's. And so he has a different ring. I came in high school as a recruited kid, and he came in as a kid from Terry school.
Yeah. So Terry is the me
The conductor. He's the conductor of
con
our Philharmonica.
so you knew Terry then, Michael?
Yeah, I think I have a maybe more common story now, but at the time was a little bit
Mhm,
different. So I'm actually not Portuguese at all.
mhm.
My parents are both from Peru, so some cultural similarities, but I think what really brought me in was just my love for music, and I think that Terry, as my high school band director, noticed my ability and invited me over. And at the time, I had a few friends that were in the band. Also, none of them Portuguese, but they were good musicians. Brought them in, and that was in 2008. 8. I was still in high school. And shortly after that, had an opportunity to go play with the band in the Azores, and wasn't initially planning on going. Sequence of
Who would
events
miss out on that?
it really is crazy, and ended up going there and experiencing those things that we had playing at the festivals here in California, but playing there, it's completely different, and you're there next to some of these founding musicians, founding members, and to see like how much it meant to them, but then also how excited they are to show you someone who's doesn't know much about the culture, doesn't have any connection to it, but them seeing you enjoy the food, enjoy the atmosphere, and experiencing the culture, I think was really moving to me, honestly.
It honestly, I'm so happy that our culture is evolving because I felt like with the story of immigration, I think they all just stuck to each other so much because they were so scared of being out of their culture. And when the community is not as culturally inclined, what else to do to keep these traditions alive but share our culture with one another? And I feel like there was this thing where we were kind of culty for a while. And now when I see the bands, I can tell that most of these philharmonicas are now very diversified, and I'm just so proud of that. I think that's such a testament to we should open up our community to others and not just try to keep it within the Portuguese community, which is why I push the English publication for Portuguese things, because I was a girl that lived in Dublin, California, and I was the only Portuguese kid at my school. And they'd be like, "Are you doing a Portuguese thing again this weekend?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And I would bring my friends to like matanças, and I'd be like, "So this is a dressed up pig, and the panella's on the bottom,
Yeah.
just collecting all the blood." And I'm like, "Hey, this is my culture." But
Welcome.
yeah, so I used to just love the shock factor to some of
Mm.
those things and sharing the culture, but it wasn't always like that. So I'm just like proud. I think the Philharmonica has plays a big part of opening up our culture to others and learning too. I love learning about other cultures as well. So I think we all have something to share. So kudos to you guys for just like opening that door and keeping it open and really showcasing how special that is on its own as well.
Yeah.
Because I
Thank
think most of people that are Philharmonic also played in high school bands, so why not bring your friends that you love already playing music with along for the ride and get free sopas?
you. Yeah, it's all about those sopas.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so let's get to the fun. Let's talk about the festival. It's in Oakdale. Is Oakdale super close to Escalon? Is
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
close. Our band hall is the size of a shoebox, so it really wouldn't be a very large event. And in fact, we probably could have one Philharmonica playing at a time. So that's why it's an hotel.
Okay, so let's go through the weekend. So does the weekend start on Friday?
So yeah, the weekend starts on Friday. We are hosting a festival kickoff party. It's the 80s prom themed event. It starts at 8 o'clock and it'll be in the bar area of the Oakdale Hall. So if anyone is familiar with the hall, it's kind of three separate halls: the dance hall, which is going to be the concert hall, the eating hall, and then the bar. The bar is fairly large, so the 80s prom will be in there. And we are going to do some kind of fun stuff. We did a promposal contest on social
That
media.
is so cute.
We had some participants, so that the winners will be announced then. And then we're also doing a prom king
I
and
love those.
queen contest. And they'll vote during the event. So it's fair for anyone who's in some kind of 80s prom attire, they can vote. So it should be pretty fun. And that's open for all groups. And the contest is more of for whoever wants to participate because it's kind of fun. It's obviously on Halloween. So we understand that it's hard for parents with kids. So we're hoping that if they do come to the hall, then they can kind of trick or treat around the area. I know Oakdale is doing a Halloween parade. So there's that as an opportunity, and I'll kind of mention that in our social media. There's a lot of Philharmonica groups. This is our first day to hang out. And
Yeah.
luckily, the Saturday event is starting a little later than we're used to. So we have some time to have a good time.
I'm so excited. That sounds like so much fun. You guys have to be posting because I can't make it on that Friday, but then you have to wake up not so early, I'm
Not so
guessing.
really. So usually I think the festivities start around like 8 or 9. And because we only have 11 Filarmonicas coming, we actually get to push back the start time. We're all musicians. And if there's one thing you know about musicians, which you are, singers, we like to wake up a little late. We like to stay up late. Oh, this is the first time I think that we're actually starting at 10. The mesh and the band presidents will meet at 9 o'clock. How the festival works is there's a drawing for concert times, because we're odd number because two bands perform at a time. Because we're odd, the Azores Band of Escalon will perform last, by themselves. And each Philharmonica will draw for their concert time, and then we'll announce when they are. And pretty much
On the day of?
on the day of,
Okay.
yeah. So they have like a 9 a.m. meeting, and then they'll figure all that out for us. And then the actual event starts at 10 with a parade. So
So, when you're saying 2 bands perform at once, are they in different locations?
no, it'll be in the concert hall, and they'll be sitting right next to each other. So one band will play one song, and then
Got
they'll
it.
kind of rotate.
Okay. And so what does a performance for a band look like on one of these festivals? Do you guys allot a certain amount of time for each band to play?
Yeah, there's general guidelines for each band in terms of how long each piece should be. We have the parade in the morning, so there's a march that they'll march in on the street, and then for the concert, each have 3 slots, 3 different pieces that they'll play, and we'll alternate between the two.
So is this like where you guys strut? Is this like your strut of the year, the Filarmonica Festival? Is this
Yeah,
like the golden ticket for the Philharmonicas? Because I
I
know for Folklore Festival is like where we bust it every year.
Yeah.
yeah, I would say so. I think it's not it's not a competition. It's not like some of these other festivals that we have, but more just an opportunity to showcase each band
Yes,
and the work that they put in during the year. Because most of the time
absolutely.
we're playing at festas, maybe not always a concert venue like most bands would like to play. Right, you're playing in the streets. You're playing for these things. I think the purpose of this really is to showcase the music, focus solely on the music, and then also be surrounded by musicians who appreciate that as well.
You guys have been posting so many vendors, sponsors. It really feels like everyone is coming together to support this event. And again, kudos to you, Melissa. You have been the driving force of that. And it goes to show how impactful it is when we're showing, trying to get everybody to rally on something so important. So thank you to the sponsors that are sponsoring this event, and it truly helps these events go by because I mean it's not just the bands performing, it's the massive amount of volunteers that you need, not just on the day of, but so much mental space is taken to volunteer for these events, so much preparation. So it's the support on a financial point is almost necessary, um, food and securities and
Hmm.
just so many things that go into these events. So it's so important to have those sponsors, and I think that showing who's sponsoring, showing the vendors really makes it a little bit more exciting for people to want to go. Can you tell me about a little bit of some of the vendors that will be there that day?
So we're going to have two actual vendors. They're also our platinum sponsors. It's Slow to V and PFSA. I think on Friday we're gonna see what kind of rooster we're gonna get because our band is all for the photo ops. So I'm trying to get them to give us one so we can have it for some pictures for the event. We do not have hall space to keep the rooster. And then obviously Soda V will have some tastings, and you're familiar with both of them. They were at the Battle of the
Yes.
Finish, and there it should be pretty fun. We like to keep it kind of simple because it's mainly the music that's kind of the focus.
Yep.
But we like to have a good time, and I think those will elevate the experience a little bit, so
Perfect. It does. It definitely does. And who doesn't want to have a little bit of aguardiente, especially the old timers? They don't realize how much they love it, and then they get a taste of it like, "What is the?" But I'm so excited for this event. I embarrassingly have to say I've never been to a Philharmonica festival, and I was so excited to be a part of this because I just want to learn. My guy cousins were all in the San Leandro band growing up, and my uncle would just be like, "Carry a flag, just carry a flag," to me and my sisters, and we were just like, "No, we don't want to," and we just never got into it, but you don't have to play an instrument to be in the band, so I think that's something to call out, you don't have to play an instrument, there are other duties as well in the band, and, maybe you can talk about a little bit about that, someone that's maybe not as musically inclined, but just wants to be a part of something like this?
So every organization has a committee. We always need volunteers for the dinners because marching parades alone don't sustain the Philharmonica. So our dinner fundraisers, event planning, being on the committee, volunteer. There's always somewhere for somebody to be.
Mhm.
So whether you can play an instrument or not, and if you have any interest in being a part of an organization, I would try. I would ask because I think every group needs people. We always laugh that the band is kind of one separate entity. We have the band and then we have the committees,
Yeah,
and we do work separately, but all for the good of the Azores Band of Escalon.
absolutely.
And that's in that sense, we have had a ton of committee members who have no music ability whatsoever, but they love it. Either they have kids in the band or they just heard about us and they met us at a Dia de Amigas and they wanted to come and hang out.
Yeah.
So
So are some ways that we can support the Azores Band of Escalon and bands in general? So you talked about just volunteering for these dinners. Like, I'm sure you guys have to fundraise
yeah.
throughout the year. So are those the events that you're talking about?
Yeah, I would say like we have a crap feed and stuff like that. I would most of the Philharmonicas now have some sort of social media. So if you want to get involved outside of being a musician, I would contact their social media accounts because I would be hard pressed to see someone not want a volunteer, an extra set of hands because it every event is a lot of work.
I know, and you don't really understand it until you're in it truly. I've had my days of peeling batatas, that's for sure, for dinners. So if I could be, 12, 13 years old in the kitchen with my knife peeling potatoes, so can you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the event. So then we have the Philharmonicas playing 2 bands at a time, and then they'll play until it's almost time for the dance, right?
Yeah. So I think if we rewind to the opening ceremony, which is
Sure.
the parade, how that goes is every Philharmonica marches in separately and they will play a piece. This year, the theme rooted in, our rooted theme has been a request for the musicians, for the Philharmonicas to pick a song that they played in the past instead of something new. So that way they can maybe like a march that invoked a memory for them that brought back maybe a founding member. So every Philharmonica this year, instead of playing a new march, they're playing something from their repertoire that
Mm.
they've had. So it's kind of nice because every Philharmonica evolves,
Like
every
a
Philharmonica
nostalgic
grows.
kind of feeling.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a good way for them to maybe play a piece. Maybe their Philharmonica back then had 10 members and they couldn't have played that piece very well, but they tried. And now they're bringing it back and it's going to sound phenomenal with the Philharmonica they have now, as well as invoking emotion and memories from the time when they played it, however long ago it was.
Oh, you guys are gonna have some people crying.
So there's going to be quite a bit, I'm assuming, some traditional songs out there that could probably transcend some generations. So it'll be interesting to see what the audience thinks. The Philharmonicas will march in, and then I'll kind of let Mike jump in on what the next steps of that will be.
Yeah, so each of the bands march in, typically do it in order in which they were founded, and then the hosting band would either be first or last. And then I think one of the bigger features or one of the bigger spectacles of the festival is that traditionally all the bands will play one march together. So they'll have this march commissioned by some composer. Other mesh have done this in the past, or someone connected to that Philharmonica. This year, we're fortunate enough to have a march which will be debuted and written by composer Valdemar Sequeira from Portugal.
Wow.
We were lucky enough to have him over for our band anniversary in April this year, and so we played a concert featuring majority of his pieces. So to work with a composer like that was something that's really special, and I'm happy that we have him back, and then we can sort of share that experience with everyone.
So he will be actually conducting all the bands for that last song together. Wow, that's so powerful. That's amazing. So we cannot miss that. That is going to be the grand finale.
He's a really nice gentleman, and he said, we got to meet him, and you never know. He's written, I think, the Filarmonica song that he wrote is like March number 99 or song number 99. And then he recently, I think, just finished his 11th, like 100th piece. He's
Wow.
phenomenal. Really, it's exciting to have him. I think all the Filarmonicas, because a lot of them will just meet him for the first time. It's going to be really cool because I know a little bit of what this music is, the concert set lists are, and there are Filarmonicas that are playing his music. So it's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah,
so awesome.
I would say if you're someone that's in the Philharmonica world, you definitely recognize his name. You've probably played a piece by him, and is probably one of the more famous Portuguese composers today, I would say.
Mhm.
So this would be besides your anniversary, this would be one of the first times he's ever been here doing this, right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, our anniversary was the first time he left the country.
Wow.
So
So
this
did
is
you guys just shoot your shot and just see if he would be open to it?
we're really blessed. I mean,
Have
if
the
you talk to
connection
someone,
going back and forth and everything.
yeah, you'll hear any one of our musicians say we're really blessed with our conductor, our mesh Terry. And we're really lucky and he's really well liked within that realm. And so I think he just shot a shot and it worked out.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. So what a cool thing to look forward to for that event as well. And then we have the dance with Conjunto Sem Dúvida, and that goes, I believe I read from 9 to 1.
Yeah, it'll go
9
from
to
9 to
1.
1.
The traditional
Yeah.
festa dance time. So is the way that we can support this festival is by, at this point, showing up, right?
Showing up. Yep. And if you can't show up and you are a previous Philharmonica member and you're thinking about getting back involved in any of the Philharmonicas in California, join them. Come back.
Yes.
It's a really great community to be a part of, just like the folklore world. We're really lucky with our group of musicians within the Philharmonica world that it's really exciting to see what they do even when they're no longer in it. And I
Yeah.
think we're really welcoming. And I hope we see some of the musicians who maybe haven't been a part of the world, the Philharmonica world's coming to the event and then hanging out with some of their friends that are still a part of their Philharmonica and then kind of just reminiscing. The whole theme of rooted in tradition, united in music is essentially the connection that we made joining these Philharmonicas or being in any type of music group, conjunct, even folklore has the music to
Absolutely.
it. That's kind of the whole theme is for us to reconnect, to
Yeah.
remember that, beyond all of the stuff that happens within our community, we're all a part of hopefully keeping our culture alive.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's something so beautiful about again, music when you have that, and I can only speak from being in the Cruzhun for myself, is that anyone that I've ever played music with, anyone that I've shared stages with are forever like feel like family to me. And there's just something to say about creating something together and seeing it get better and better every time. And you can't replicate that feeling, you just have to try it and do it. So like the music kids, get your kids into music because it's one of the most heart like filling um things I think I've ever done in my life. And I've done sports and all of the things. I would say that music fulfilled me more than any sport ever did, or dance, or even so I think that's why the family aspect comes with it, because there's so much heart and creativity to it. It is art. But I'm so excited that we get to celebrate the Philharmonicas and the representation, and that we're going to meet this phenomenal conductor. So thank you for making that connection, Terry, with the with the connects with my name drop. I'm excited to meet Terry too. So it really seems like you guys have like a well-oiled wheel over there at the Azores Band of Escalon. So thank you for representing Philharmonicas in such a positive way and showing the evolution of it as well. That as much as we want to stick to our traditions and play the pieces that are tried and true to our culture and heritage and these and these things, but also to grow
Mhm.
in other aspects. And that is with the concerts and bringing the outsiders in as well. So I'm looking to see a big mix of all kinds of cultures at this event because that's truly what these Philharmonicas have turned into as well. Thanks, Michael, again for the continuing to teach these kids. I think that's really where it starts. And of course the volunteers. That's how we withhold it. And like you said, we have to feed these Philharmonicas, so it's not just coming to the festival; it's coming to the dinners throughout the year. It's supporting in any way you can, whether it be whoever's selling flores online or the fundraisers that you see here and there. A little does go a long way with these groups. These all of these bands, they travel um on their own dime every single Sunday. So it's just helping maybe give you guys a gift to go do something fun as a band or something at some point because god dang it, you guys deserve it. Everyone else, you guys are in the sun every Sunday.
Yeah. Melting
Okay,
a little bit.
so we have Friday 80s prom.
Mhm.
Saturday is from 10 till whenever you guys want to kick us out. And then we have anything else that we want to touch base on?
Trying to think.
I don't have anything in terms of the event itself. I am very excited to see all the other 10 Philharmonicas there. David Kasha, which was essentially the person behind the Festival of the Philharmonicas. We're very grateful for him. This is our event. Our band likes to call it Christmas, Christmas in November. So, I mean, that's kind of nerdy, but it is what it is. So we truly, our band especially, we truly love this event. And I think
Yeah.
that's why we were very excited to host the 20th anniversary of it, just because we have loved it since we've participated. And we hope that other Philharmonicas get reinvigorated and also come back to join it or even just come and show up and hang out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always say, like, we have the incredible musical talent in our community. It's just incredible. So, when you see conjunts, just
Mhm.
don't forget that a lot of them start from the Philharmonicas as well. So, it truly is one of those things that has spread wealth in so many different areas in our community as well from, like we talked about the Holy Spirit parades but now into conjunts into concerts. There's so many ways. Um, what do you guys hope people feel when they hear your band or the bands play at festival? Is there something that you hope that maybe people that aren't like myself, maybe in the Philharmonica world?
I think for people that are within the Portuguese community, familiar with some of these songs, I think if our song invigorates some sort of memory or takes them to a certain place, that's something, I may not be familiar with that melody, but to someone who's in the audience, that means something to them and their childhood, their upbringing. So for me, that's really impactful. But I think for me as a musician, I'm really looking for that moment where you just kind of get so absorbed in the music, you kind of lose other senses, and you're lost in the music, and you have that feeling, like you said, that you can't really get any other way. I
Oh,
can't
it's
I
like
can't really
adrenaline
describe it
kick.
other than just being there in the moment. So I hope that each musician that plays in the Philharmonica finds that moment within their concert set, and then us in the audience can feel that as well.
I think for me, I just hope that everyone's proud of the community, the
Yeah.
Portuguese community, and the diversity that we are now. It's not just Portuguese, it's, Californian American, Portuguese American community. And that's kind of where I am. I'm hoping that our founders, because our band is a really emotional band, I like to say, we really like to think about the generation.
Passionate.
Yeah, well, we're both. It's often if we're having a good concert, you'll see some crying happening while we're playing, but we're very passionate. And our hope, I'm speaking for the rest of the committee, is that we make everyone proud. We
Yeah.
make the people in the community proud that they're a part of the culture. Kids interested in participating in their future, that they want to be a part of any of the Philharmonicas. And our founding members who are still around are proud of our band for what we could accomplish.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you guys, and I'm so happy that we've been able to collaborate on this as well. Thank you for inviting the Portuguese Collective. We'll be there doing some more one-on-one interviews with a few of the members of each band. And so we'll be out there and hoping to, also move the community, because truly I think that what I've learned from just watching your band is that you guys have moved me. Like, it's moving to watch you guys, not just playing. You guys are incredible hearing you play music. I told Michael the other day, I'm like, I think that you guys need to go on like America's Got Talent. I was like, you guys are incredible. So, but I never was able to sit there and actually hear the band that way. And through all of the media that we've been doing, I've been able to take a look at it from a different perspective. And I was very moved watching you guys throughout the last few months this year. So thanks for moving me with your music. Even though I've been in music, it was never in the Filarmonicas, and I truly didn't. I knew that we always had a band behind us at the brothers, but I didn't understand it as well. So I'm so excited to learn more, and I hope that you guys could welcome me in this world as well. And I'm here to help you guys in this community, in the Philharmonica community, as much as I can, and push forward anything and everything. We have the magazine coming out also on the 1st. I can't wait to release the cover of that. And we have a spread for each and every band, hoping to just connect people with their neighboring communities. So if you don't know how to reach out to a band to play for a band, there will be all of their links and socials and everything, so you can get involved, whether it be supporting their dinners, becoming a member, trying to become a musician, and learning about it. All of those resources will be available to everybody from each and every single band. So, again, thank you for welcoming us and inviting us to that event. And I'm so excited. It's going to be my first Philharmonica Festival.
Well, welcome to the Azores Band family. Now you're part
Thank
of the
you.
group.
Thank
Um,
you. Yeah, big fan.
Yeah, and I just want to say something kind of, outside of the event itself is, thank you, Sylvia, for all that you do. Really, I think in one of your podcast episodes, you said that, we don't think in Portuguese, so it's always uncomfortable to speak in Portuguese.
Yes.
And 100% resonated with I'm sure a lot of people, but for sure with me. And what you're doing is so important, especially in the world that we are in now with the diversity that is in our community. I think that you are kind of transcending through obviously all cultures because they want to understand ours a little bit better. And I do think that the work you're doing is really great. And so we're
Thank
very
you.
lucky to have you. We're very excited to
Thank
have
you.
the English, speaking base, because you're going to get some cool interviews from
Yeah.
people who you never would have heard from.
You're going to make me cry.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I'm sure we're part of an organization for so
Yeah.
long that all we can do, the social director role that I'm in was actually created by the mesh of our band, Terry. Like I said, you'll hear his name a lot because he was already foreshadowing how important it would be for kids to get engaged. And we have people like you in the community. And obviously, I'll shout out to Taylor for all that he's helped our Philharmonica accomplish and do with the Portuguese Heritage Night, because that also reinvigorates people to being in the Philharmonica, because we're doing things within the community and some fun stuff that we
Yes.
never would have gotten the opportunity with. And you are tying it in by kind of explaining it to people who maybe wouldn't have understood it if it was in a Portuguese interview, and who definitely wouldn't have felt comfortable in kind of giving their backstory. Because we are now third generation in, second generation in. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm first generation
Reality. Yeah.
here, but that's very rare now. In the Philharmonica world, you're going deeper and deeper, and you're
Yes.
helping connect those generations. And it's very important. And again, thank you very much. I
You're
think
so welcome. Thank you for coming on the podcast in such short notice. And I hope to see everybody at the Filarmonica Festival, Oakdale, November 1st. If you need any more information, it's at the Azores Band of Escalon on all social media platforms. Thank you, Michael, Melissa, and I can't wait to see you guys in person.
thank
Thanks,
you.
All
Sylvia.
right. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.